way in which new startups in particular are creating bank services through apps is radically different to the way in which we've ever seen finance dealt with before. It's about human relationships through technology.
Pure human touch drives happiness in the client-advisor relationship. Taking a single financial advisor as the example, when he comes into the office in the morning and he runs a book of maybe 200, 300 clients, it is not an exaggeration to say that he would spend the first 5 and 6 hours of his day looking through these portfolios manually. So our vision is really to free up his time radically, because those tasks can be better and more accurately performed by a machine, and let him focus on the one thing that no machine can do, which is creating the trusted relationship with the customer and implementing his vision.
There's probably never been a more exciting time within financial services. I've got teenage children, and one of those is now in her 3rd year of university, and just watching how she interacts with, simplistically, her phone, but also her financial service provider is just so different to the way that I do it. The generation that's coming up through, they're just so used to being provided with so much more information. So that's what I think is going to happen in the next 10 years. I think we're going to look at financial services in a very, very different way, and it's going to be driven by our behaviours and not with the old-fashioned question of who do you bank with.
I think when we look at the financial services industry in particular, they're at a really pivotal point in terms of needing to effect change and transform. It's no secret that the banks are on a process of cultural transformation. Microsoft pivoted to a very much industry-focused strategy a few years ago. We're looking to really make that move from having a conversation around IT and technology to speaking to the business decision makers and people who really have that focus on what the business change and the business outcomes are needed.
Banking in many people's minds is seen as a very narrow, highly regulated, somewhat stringent set of products. Those boundaries need to be blurred. Banks need to move and should move beyond the old school product set and really begin to be more imaginative about what they offer across a wider spectrum of services.
I think the impact to the end user clients, the typical banking client, is that they get more transparency into their payments. They get greater visibility on what's happening with them, with the fees that they're being charged, and with the speed at which those payments are being processed, but also ultimately that they're as safe and secure as possible.
The banks know 5 days, 2 weeks in advance when a customer is going to run out of money. And so we have that information, we have those insights, and it's what we do with that. This person has still got their children to feed, they still need to drive to work, etc. So what can we do to make their lives easier? You can help that customer consolidate debt. You can start giving them advice around where they're spending their money and what they could do to change. Or you could provide them with additional funds. So it really is using the information you have and the data that you have to impact on people's lives. And that's where you build up trust in a bank.
Most banks are led just by bankers. I think they should be led by bankers and technology people, because you can't be a digital bank and digitally transform if you only have financial people at the helm. You've got to have digital leadership as part of the overall structure of the bank's top level management, and not enough banks today have that balance. They really need to start to shift.
Technology is here to be an enabler, so cloud, blockchain, AI, machine learning are definitely triggers that will foster innovation. You, me, what we love is having banks in your hand. It's interacting easily and just have the bank as a partner in our journey of life.